It's week 6 of the BCFL season, and while there's only one game to feature this week, it was quite a game, with the West Virginia Storm visiting the Port City Spartans. The Storm came in on a 4-game winning streak to take control of the Eastern Conference's Blue Division. The Spartans were a surprising 3-0, but still needed to win to keep pace with the Columbus Gladiators in the Eastern Conference's Red Division. It looked like this sack by Michael Dickerson would bring a quick end to the Spartans' opening drive of the game. But a pair of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on the Storm sustained the drive. And when Duke Edwards hit Nigel Price for 20 yards, the Spartans were down to the Storm 2-yard line, first and goal. Port City struggled to move it from there, and on 4th and goal looked like they had a touchdown but couldn't quite haul it in. And the Port City drive lasted 15 plays, 10 minutes and 46 seconds, but produced no points. The Storm used their running game to get out from the shadow of their own goal line, and on the first play of the second quarter turned to the passing game, where Michael Morton fired this 29-yard pass to Fred Crozier. Next play, the Storm went right back to it. Morton dropped back to pass, went deep, and Crozier had it in the end zone for a touchdown. The Storm took the early 6-0 lead. The Spartans looked to respond. Edwards dropped back to pass. He broke one set of tackles, and it took 4 defenders of the Storm to finally take him down on this 11-yard run. He followed up that play by firing this 24-yard strike to Trey Timmerman, and the Spartans were already down to the Storm 20-yard line. But the Port City drive stalled once again. This time it was Deion McKinley coming up with the sack that ended the Spartans' drive. Instead, it was the Spartans' defense that got them on the board. The next play after the stop, the ball comes out at the end of this run. Natrell Cunningham's there to pick it up. There's nobody to stop him. He's going 33 yards into the end zone for a touchdown to tie the score 6-6. It was still 6-6 at halftime when the Storm looked to take control heading into the third quarter. They started with this 13-yard run by A.J. Williams. Then was Williams again, 7 yards along the right side. On 4th and 5, quarterback Michael Morton kept it himself. He picked up 8 yards and the first down. Then it was back to Williams, this time an 8-yard pickup. And on 4th and 3, it was Williams again, this time going around the left side for 11 yards down to the 10-yard line. James Knox finished things off with 2 runs, including this 3-yard bruising run into the end zone that gave the Storm a 12-6 lead. The Spartans' next drive went nowhere, and their punt was blocked. Nobody could manage to pick it up in the end zone, so it went through the back of the end zone for a safety in a 14-6 Storm lead. The Spartans managed to subdue West Virginia's momentum, however, when Chris Winters held on to this interception with just under 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The Storm maintained their lead into the fourth quarter, but after a turnover and downs, Edwards found L.J. Adams in the end zone for a 29-yard touchdown. The 2-point conversion was no good, however, and West Virginia still led 14-12. West Virginia responded, taking advantage of a couple of penalties on the Spartans, first a face mask, and later an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And then the Storm resorted to some trickery when Fred Crozier took a pitch. He found a wide-open Jay Young for a 21-yard touchdown. The Storm lead was back to 20-12, and things were not looking good for the Spartans. The concern on the Port City sideline only grew when Duke Edwards tried to go deep, but Snook Merton was there to step in front of the pass and pick it off. He's weaving his way through the Port City now defense and gets all the way down to the 9-yard line, a 61-yard return. But the Spartans defense stepped up, timed the snap just right on 1st and goal. Then on 2nd down, Tim Green with another sack. Following an incomplete pass on 3rd down, there was Antoine Powell coming up with the sack on 4th down for the turnover on downs. The teams traded possessions and when the Spartans got the ball back, they had just under 3 minutes remaining in the game and were still trailing 20-12. That's when Duke Edwards took the snap, avoided one defender, rolled to his left, fired downfield all the way across the field from his own 33 to the 10. LJ Adams is there for the catch and into the end zone for an amazing 62-yard touchdown. After a timeout, Edwards decides to keep it himself on the 2-point conversion. He's in easily, and the score is tied 20-20. The Storm get a nice return to the Spartans' 40-yard line, but on their first play, they drop back the pass, and Latrell Cunningham picks it off. He cuts through a few defenders, and then he just takes off 61 yards all the way for a touchdown. The Spartans are now in the lead. On the 2-point conversion, Luke Brown forces his way in. The Spartans, in the span of less than 30 seconds, have gone from down 20-12 to ahead 28-20. West Virginia has one last chance to come back, but the pass is again picked off, this one by Job Swords. He takes it down to the 25-yard line with less than 2 minutes remaining. From there, the Spartans are able to celebrate. They just have to take a few knees and just watch the remaining time tick away as they hold on for an incredible 20-20 come from behind victory. Port City wins it with 22 points in the fourth quarter, including those 2 touchdowns in less than 30 seconds at the end to improve to 4-0. Latrell Cunningham had 6 tackles to go along with his 2 touchdown returns, the 1 interception return and the fumble recovery early in the game. Duke Edwards just 7 of 28 passing, but managed 174 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also ran 5 times for 29 yards. LJ Adams also caught 3 passes for 94 yards and had both receiving touchdowns for the Spartans. For West Virginia, A.J. Williams carried 14 times for 60 yards. Fred Crozier caught 3 passes for 68 yards and a touchdown. He also threw the 21-yard touchdown pass in the fourth quarter. James Knox also had 7 tackles, 3 for loss and a sack, and also had a touchdown run. Looking at the other scores from the week, there were several shutouts, but most noteworthy was the famed City Red Rhinos picking up their first win of the season, 14-12 against the Capital City Mustangs. The Sin City Buccaneers won their 3rd straight game, shutting out the Blaze 26-0. The 82 Chargers remained undefeated with a 38-0 win against the Columbus War Eagles. And for the second time, the Dukes shut out the Rage, but this time by the score of 30-0. The Huskies also picked up their first win by forfeit over the Tanks. Taking a look at the standings, everyone has a win now, but not everyone has a loss. In the Eastern Conference's Red Division, the Gladiators and Spartans are both undefeated, with the Gladiators at 5 wins and the Spartans at 4. The Huskies, with their first win, are now in 3rd. In the Blue Division, the Storm, despite the loss, still have a solid lead. The Warriors are 2-3, the Mustangs and Rhinos both 1-5. In the Western Conference, the Dukes move back ahead of the Blaze after falling into 2nd place for a week. In the Red Division, the Rage are still in 3rd place. The Chargers remain 5-0 atop the Blue Division, but the Buccaneers have moved ahead of the War Eagles at 3-3. On this coming weekend schedule, it'll be a light week with 4 teams on a bye. The Blaze, Rage, Buccaneers, and Mustangs all have the week off. The Chargers and Dukes face each other in a rematch of a game the Chargers won 20-0 earlier. The Spartans put their undefeated record on the line when they travel to face the Warriors. The Red Rhinos look to build a winning streak as they host the War Eagles, and the Storm look to get back on track hosting the Huskies. The Gladiators will remain undefeated and pick up a win against the Tanks. And finally, there was quite a bit of movement in the owners poll this week. The Chargers and the Gladiators remained 1 and 2, but after that, the Spartans jump up to number 3, switching places with the Blaze, who dropped down to 5th. Duke stay at 4. The Buccaneers move up to 6th, while the Storm drop to 7. The Warriors break their tie with the War Eagles. They're now 8th by themselves, and the War Eagles are 9th. The Rage stay at 10th, while the Red Rhinos jump up to the number 11 spot. Huskies stay 12th, but the Mustangs drop to number 13.